Beth, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Joey.
No, thanks for having us on the road edition for Behind the Chain. I guess just to get it kicked off. So, delivery conference, is this an event you come to every year?
Yeah, we attend every year, and it's one of the best conferences there is for our sector, and we're exhibiting this year as well. So,
right, nice.
It's already started off well. It's a good day for us.
Brill. And I heard there was a few evening dinners last night and stuff, but you've decided to be more.
It's an important day.
Yeah,
exactly.
Be more fresh for the
Indeed.
day. No, look, I appreciate you taking the time to come out and have the conversation. So for everyone watching, Starlinks and yourself, just brief introductions. Who you are?
So I'm Beth. I'm Managing Director of Starlinks Global. I've been in international logistics for nearly 30 years. I know I don't look that old, Joe. So who are Starlinks Global? We're an award-winning cross-border delivery carrier. We help retailers deliver to nearly 200 countries worldwide with seamless, reliable and fully tracked delivery solutions. When I started the business, which was in 2022, we set out to raise the bar, building a model where precision, transparency and customer care are engineered into every parcel. Today we partner with some of the world's fastest growing fashion, beauty and e-commerce brands, helping them expand globally with confidence.
Yeah.
We're recognised for turning complex trade, customs and carrier networks into a commercial advantage for retailers. And last year we became a trusted industry voice for decoding the turbulent US tariff landscape. Thank you, President Trump. We offered straight talking clarity amid widespread confusion, which was in the market at the time.
Yeah.
And we continued to champion smarter, more resilient global delivery solutions, and we're doing the same this year with the upcoming EU changes, which are big changes coming, which are going to impact retailers.
I hear you. No, interesting. And I guess MD, owner of Starlinks now. What was your journey to get into this position? In brief, just a synopsis of how you got into becoming a very well-renowned industry leader.
I mean, it's kind of you to say. You said that, not me. So
no one likes the flattery. No one likes the flattery.
They're your words, not mine. I mean, I actually didn't do particularly well at school.
Right.
So I met my now husband. Thankfully, we're still together. When I was at school, I was 17. I was doing my A-levels. I was meant to go to university.
Yes.
And then I met him, and that didn't happen.
Right.
So I needed to get a job because I'd moved out of home, not because my parents made me, but I wanted to live with him. I'd moved out of home, so I needed to get a job. And I ended up working for the Royal Mail, and I worked for them for a long time.
Yes.
And I ended up as an international consultant for them. And it was a really, really good career grounding. I learned a lot of things. And then from there, I moved to P2P as one of the owner directors, which is the business that we sold to FedEx in 2017.
Yeah.
I then retired. And at the same point that I retired, my husband was diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer.
Right.
Thankfully, our story ended well, and he got well. So I feel very fortunate. My husband was then retired. He has a life rich full of hobbies. He's thoroughly interesting. He DJ'd with the Prodigy once, so he's a multi-talented man.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I only know about parcels. So I was retired with little to do.
Yeah.
So we both decided it would probably be better for everybody's sake if I went back to work.
Yeah.
And then Starlinks Global was born from there. And I love the business. I love running the business, and I love what we as a team have created. And Starlinks Global is absolutely a team effort. The business is only as good as the people that we have in it, and you take one of us out and we're weaker. So we're a business of nearly 100 strong now.
Yeah.
And I'm exceptionally proud of the difference that we're making to the industry. We have the lowest where is my order, lowest loss and lowest undeliverable rates of any cross-border carrier in the market anywhere. And that's because of the dedication and care and effort that the team put into the business every day.
Yeah, I hear you. And when you said you first started out in Royal Mail, what was your first job? I love asking.
I was on the telebank actually, so I was answering questions.
Right.
And that's a really good grounding. And I think I'm kind of quite known for being detail oriented.
Yeah.
I really like detail. I like accuracy of information. I think it's incredibly important in this day and age where you know everybody thinks they're an expert and there's a lot of misinformation. But I remember I didn't know the answer to a question once.
Yeah.
And I made it up. And at the time I was 18, I made it up. I panicked. I gave an answer. And it stayed with me forever. Because I felt so bad that I might have given someone wrong information that they were making a decision on.
Yes.
And I've never ever done that since, and it's stayed with me forever. The importance of, if you are a trusted voice, you have got to be a trusted voice, whatever position you're in.
Yeah.
Whether you're an advisor or whether you're an MD.
Yeah. And did you know any ramifications of the advice you gave, or was it more just that guilt of knowing you weren't being 100%?
Well, really oddly,
accurate?
and I hadn't thought about this for a long time till this moment. The question that I was asked ended up as a question in the questions section of the Daily Mail, and I didn't even read the Daily Mail, and I don't even now know how I ended up having the paper that day. But the exact question I was asked was printed in the Daily Mail, and an answer had been given, which was not the answer I gave.
Right.
So,
right.
Yes. So it wasn't dreadfully serious, the ramifications, but there's a point of principle at play.
Yeah. And obviously impressive to have said you were part of the exit of P2P when they sold to FedEx. What would you say your experience of that was like?
Really positive. So the team that were working with us to manage the acquisition, it was an incredibly positive experience.
Yeah.
And I still have friends actually with the team that managed that acquisition. And of course, personally, it was great for us. It was life-changing for my husband and I. But it was a really positive experience of how to build a business and then sell a business and create benefit for a lot of people that were in that business.
And the stress of that, or I say stress of it, you've said it was really positive, but I know that probably comes with a lot of hard work. Like, how complex is that side of it, or is it actually not that that difficult to position a company and sell to someone like a FedEx?
Well, if you know the business inside out, and I think that's the point. A lot of the due diligence process, of course, there's a huge amount of detail and there's a huge amount of financial information that gets shared. But ultimately, people want to know what they're buying and how they're going to integrate that business into their own, and what benefit that's going to bring to their business and their customers. And if it's a business that you built that you loved, which I did with P2P, I loved the business. It was incredibly easy to talk about, and then to sell the business. So for me, it was nothing but positive. But again, it comes back to being prepared and being prepared for everything. You don't walk into a due diligence process unprepared. But it's a very structured process as well.
And with that, did you play any particular role, i.e., within it? Were you, chief of the data, insights, audit?
We all took our role, but there was quite a lot of intense questioning in a positive way about the business, and so I was facing a lot of those questions during the M&A process. So a lot of that detail, especially around the sales and customer process, and the way that our products have been built, sat with me.
Got you. And was it always built to exit? Was that always the plan?
Well, it was privately owned,
right.
so it was always going to be sold. The whole theory of it was that the business would be built, and the business would then be sold to somebody that would then be able to take it on to the next level.
Got you.
So yes, it was.
Okay, amazing. And then jumping back into Starlinks then, so where do you think the market is at the minute in terms of international, cross-border? What would you sort of give as an overview?
I mean, the market is interesting at the moment, and I think we very much stand apart from other people, which of course I'm going to say because it's a business that I've built. But I think the market had started to descend into how low can the prices go, and of course retailers are incredibly price sensitive, as they should be.
Yes.
You know, businesses are struggling, retailers are struggling, so they want to ensure that they're getting value for money. But I think with a number of the very lower cost operators, those challenges have potentially come home to create other issues for retailers, where they've dealt with poor levels of service, where they've dealt with high loss rates, where they've just dealt with poor customer care, which actually all of those has a quantifiable cost. So it then doesn't come down to the, is it €4 for a parcel? It comes down to the, what happens if a consignee has a bad customer experience? They're not going to buy from that retailer again. They might tell their friends not to buy from that retailer again. And then how much does it actually cost the retailer to deal with the where is my order? There is some interesting Metapack research that it's something like £5.76 just to handle the query.
Is it? Right.
Now that's one query dealing with one Wismo from one customer.
Yeah.
Now you amplify that up with somebody that sends 5-10 million parcels a year. Those are vast numbers. So for us, when we talk about our Wismo rates being 7 times better than the industry average, that then brings back a quantifiable benefit to the retailer in cost to serve. And that's without undeliverables, that potentially with other carriers, there's a high undeliverable rate. The cost of handling those returns coming back, the cost of putting those returns back into stock, and the stock may or may not be usable.
Yeah.
Plus the environmental impact of, none of us should be flying parcels halfway around the world just for them to come back as an undeliverable. So for us at Starlinks Global, we operate very much a prevention first mentality. We have to intervene in 20% of the parcels that come through our door, and that's a data intervention, whether it's correcting a consignee address or whether we're dealing with missing product information. And then 98.5% of those parcels then go on to be successfully delivered.
Got you.
Once they're in flight, we rescue over 4% of parcels as well, because again, we intervene. We are monitoring 100% of all parcels against critical time checkpoints. So rescuing those parcels again means they're not then turning into undeliverables. We have a happy consignee that's going to buy from a retailer again.
Yeah.
So prevention first for us is absolutely a mantra that we live by. And then our customer care, our award-winning customer care team that we are absolutely proud of and renowned for, led by the wonderful Laura Hatt. So we have 100% CSAT score rating because of the absolute effort and care that entire team put into every inquiry.
Yeah.
Every parcel does matter. It really is never just a parcel, which is a mantra that we stand by.
Got you. Yeah. And where would you say like the sweet spot is for Starlinks? Would you say it's more SME, mid-market, enterprise? Given that, you know, you're a fairly new player into the, I'm saying new player actually, you're probably not that stage now, are you? You're way past that. But yeah, where would you say the customer sweet point is for you guys?
I think the interesting point is Starlinks Global may have been born in 2022, but it's a team of 92 industry and highly experienced industry professionals. Yeah. Which I think is why we've been able to develop the business much faster than even we could have hoped. We deal with all sorts of different size customers, and we're very happy to do so. We value every single one of our customers that has helped us get to where we are, and that can be from massive enterprise customers, or it can be to SMEs or micro SMEs, and we gladly work with all of them.
Amazing. And who would you say let's say hero story? Have you got any brands that have gone through sort of a hero story of Starlinks? Let's say, you know, started in the bedroom, then jumped into the whole, you know, big.
I mean, it's an interesting point because we work with a number of different brands, but what we find with a lot of the brands that work with us is they may start using us for 1 or 2 or 3 lanes, and then quickly, when they understand the value that we can bring to them, in terms of the quantifiable benefits around obviously getting parcels delivered, which is what we should all do, but keeping noise away from their customer customer service teams, we see that they then bring on board the rest of their lanes with us. So what might start off as a trading relationship on a few lanes tends to then quickly go into a trading relationship on a number of different lanes.
Got you. On lanes, I'm gonna, you know, open it. So where do you think's hot at the moment in terms of actual trade lanes and e-commerce?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I think there's sweet spots for every different product type around the world.
Got you.
So something that may be super popular in the US may be a bit less popular in the EU, or might be slightly less popular in the Middle East, or something that's really popular in the Middle East might not be as popular in the EU. But I think the opportunity of cross-border is still there. I think there's a lot of complexity that's coming into the market right now, and we saw a lot of people with the US changes just stop shipping, and they didn't need to stop shipping. There were viable routes through, but if there's a lot of scaremongering and it seems too difficult to deal with, then potentially people don't. So I would actively encourage people to work with companies like Starlinks Global and reliable partners on how to keep trading. The US is still a viable market. Yes, there are upcoming changes coming to the EU with the de minimis withdrawal and the handling fees that are going to be introduced, and potentially national handling fees. But again, there is a way through. So lean into the partnerships that you have with your carriers who can give you the best possible advice on the way through. And then there's other interesting things like Israel, their de minimis actually doubled recently. So where certain markets are withdrawing, other markets are changing in different ways, and that then presents an enormous opportunity for some retailers. So there's a lot of change coming, but lean into the change with your carriers who can advise you in the best possible way.
Got ya. If you were to meet yourself back when you first joined Royal Mail, what advice would you give to yourself looking back?
Oh, go out less.
Go out less.
Yeah, go out less. Yes.
Less hangovers.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, go out less, possibly. But I did have quite a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So yes, that would probably be one piece of advice. But really embrace the opportunity and learn from people around you.
Yeah.
And really lean into different types of opportunities. I used to be quite shy, so there'd be lots of things that I wouldn't do. And if I could have told my younger self that, it would be to really embrace opportunities.
Amazing. Well, Beth, thank you so much for taking the time out of the delivery conference and coming and having the conversation.
You're welcome. Nice to see you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.